Here, on the Horn of Africa, the land meets the sea. A coastline of incredible length stretches out, kissed by the warm waters of the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea. For millennia, this has been a crossroads of cultures, a bridge between continents. The air itself seems to hum with ancient stories, tales carried on the monsoon winds that have guided sailors for countless generations. This is the ancestral home of the Somali people, a land of poets and traders, of nomads and kings. The ancient Egyptians called it the land of Punt, a mythical place of riches. They sent great expeditions here, sailing down the coast in search of frankincense and myrrh, precious resins that were more valuable than gold. Out of the medieval mists, a powerful force began to emerge in the 14th century. This was the Ajuran Sultanate. It was an empire built not just on coastal trade, but on the life-giving power of the rivers. The Shabelle and Juba rivers snake through southern Somalia, and the Ajuran learned to master them. They engineered a remarkable system of canals, dams, and limestone wells, transforming arid lands into fertile agricultural heartlands. From their capital, which moved between cities like Mogadishu and Merka, the Ajuran rulers projected immense authority. They minted their own currency, a clear sign of their sovereignty and economic control. In these ports, merchants from Arabia, Persia, India, and even distant China came to trade. A new power, the Portuguese, also arrived on the scene, disrupting the ancient Indian Ocean trade networks with their cannons and warships. Beset by internal rebellions from peoples like the Hawaii and challenged by these new foreign invaders, the mighty Ajuran Sultanate began to crumble, its magnificent hydraulic empire slowly returning to the dust. To the north, a different kind of power was taking shape. This was the Adal Sultanate, a fiery and ambitious state centered around the ancient city of Zayla. Born from a collection of smaller Muslim principalities, Adal rose in the 14th century with a singular focus: to challenge the dominance of its powerful neighbor, the Christian Ethiopian Empire. This was more than a simple rivalry over territory or trade. It was an epic ideological struggle, a clash of faiths and civilizations that would define the history of the Horn of Africa for centuries. The Sultanate reached its zenith in the 16th century under the leadership of one of the most formidable figures in African history, Imam Ahmad ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi, known to the Ethiopians as Ahmad Gure or Ahmad the Left-Handed. He forged a modern army equipped with firearms supplied by the Ottoman Empire, a technological advantage that proved devastating. For a time it seemed as though nothing could stop him as he launched a massive invasion of Ethiopia. His forces swept across the Ethiopian highlands, conquering city after city and pushing the Christian empire to the very brink of collapse. 3/4 of the ancient kingdom fell under Adal's control. The beleaguered Ethiopian emperor appealed to Europe for help, and the Portuguese, seeing a chance to strike a blow against a rival of their Ottoman adversaries, responded. In 1543, at the Battle of Waina Daga, Imam Ahmad was killed, and the tide of the war turned decisively. The Adal Sultanate, deprived of its charismatic leader and weakened by decades of constant warfare, began to fracture. It never recovered its former glory, eventually splintering back into smaller competing states, its brief brilliant flame extinguished. After the decline of the mighty Ajuran, a power vacuum emerged in the fertile lands of southern Somalia. It was in this environment that the Geledi Sultanate rose to prominence in the late 17th century. Unlike the centralized, top-down rule of the Ajuran, the Geledi established their power through a clever combination of military might and political alliance building. Their capital, Afgoye, became a major political and economic center, renowned for its agricultural productivity and vibrant markets. The Geledi Sultanate dominated the lucrative ivory trade and controlled the regional slave trade, as well as the flow of agricultural goods from the fertile Shabelle Valley to the coastal cities of Mogadishu, Merka, and Brava. The Geledi era is remembered as a golden age of culture and poetry. The sultans were great patrons of the arts, and their court at Afgoye attracted poets, scholars, and religious leaders from across the region. The annual Istunka, or stick-fighting festival held in Afgoye, was more than just a ritualized contest. It was a powerful symbol of the Sultanate's military prowess, and a way to channel the martial energies of its young men. In the mid-19th century, they found themselves caught between powerful external forces. The Omani Sultanate of Zanzibar began expanding its influence up the coast, seeking to control the rich trade of the Benadir ports. Simultaneously, European colonial powers, First the Italians and then the British were beginning their scramble for Africa, carving up the continent with little regard for existing political boundaries. The Geledi fought fiercely to maintain their independence, but their traditional armies were no match for European firearms. By the early 20th century, the last great Somali empire had been absorbed into the new colonial territories. The stories of the Ajuran, Adal and Geledi are not mere footnotes in a forgotten history. They are powerful testaments to a legacy of state-building, innovation and resilience that has profoundly shaped Somali identity. The Ajuran's mastery of hydraulic engineering demonstrates a remarkable capacity for harnessing nature to build a prosperous and stable society. Their centralized administration and control over vast trade networks show a sophisticated understanding of governance and economics. The Adal Sultanate, with its fiery ambition and its epic struggle against a powerful rival, speaks to a different aspect of this legacy. The story of Imam Ahmad Gure, though ending in defeat, is remembered as a symbol of fierce resistance and unwavering conviction. From the Geledi, we learn of the power of diplomacy and cultural patronage. Their confederation model shows a genius for political pragmatism, for building alliances and governing through consensus as much as through force. Looking back at these empires today, on this 14th day of August 2025, we see more than just a sequence of rising and falling powers. We see a continuous thread of ingenuity, commerce, and fierce independence. The challenges they faced, internal divisions, foreign intervention, and environmental pressures, are challenges that still resonate in the Horn of Africa. The legacy of these empires is a reminder of past greatness and a wellspring of lessons for building a stable and prosperous future. Their echoes are all around us, in the language, the culture, and the resilient spirit of the Somali people.